This is Bofades, and he is locked in ZF until he earns 1 million gold from this dungeon and this dungeon alone. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the series where we are locked in ZF until we earn 1 million gold. Today's episode is going to cover runs 241 through 250. And as you can tell, Bofades looks a little different today. And that's because my guy, or girl, Zul'Farrak, sent me some mail over the weekend. Full speed set. That is absolutely insane. And the reason they decided to send it over is to make sure that Bofades has a fighting chance against Socrates, because I do have a speed set on that druid. And I want to say that this is one of the kindest things that a stranger has ever done for me on the internet. So I wasn't going to turn this down. I did think about it for a second because we are doing a challenge here and almost like a self-found challenge in a way. But Bofades has been at a disadvantage this entire time. There aren't any insane supers in here like there are in Scarlet Monastery. And I think our speed has been at like, what, 8%, 6%? Something terrible. And I told you guys from the beginning that I didn't think very deeply about this whole thing, this whole challenge. It was literally a matter of Bofades just being in the area, and I said, hey, I'm just going to run ZF a bunch of times on one of my characters, and this is going to be the guy. So Bofades here is going to be moving quite a bit faster in the rest of these videos, the rest of this challenge. And again, I don't mind taking this speed set because this person, Zul'Farrak, didn't send gold. And our challenge is just to make gold from this dungeon, and if I were to bring any other of my druids over here, they would have a speed set. That might cause some rage or some frustration in the comments about me getting some, like, you know, content creator benefits or whatever. But since this is the very first benefit I've ever gotten as a content creator, and it doesn't necessarily affect the challenge because I'd be running this dungeon 10 times, you know, at 8% like I've been doing this entire time, that I don't mind taking advantage of this particular benefit. All right, with that out of the way, let's see if we sold anything over the weekend. There's the thank you notes from Zul'Farrak. So not a lot, nothing here to really even talk about. We did sell our fish though. Let's go and get this in the bags. All right, that puts us at 254,523 gold. However, that's not where we're going to start today. One of the auction house tunes connected to this challenge sold 5,178 gold worth of transmog, a jade belt and jade bracers, right? I'm certain that that's the same person. Some blood forged sabatons. And yes, those are still below market. And yes, we still have kind of a sale going on. I did up everything by 20% over the weekend, which is why we didn't see a ton of sales. Speaking of sales though, I do want to ask you guys a question. This sale right here, Tyrant's leg plates, which we all know I got from here. This sold on one of my other auction house tunes that's not part of this warband for 7,457 gold. And my question to you guys is, are you okay with the fact that the warband connected to Bofades here has slower sales than all my other auction houses? And I'm saying that because I'm regularly reposting and selling things on all my other tunes, and some of these things from ZF and some of the things from Scarlet Monastery are actually selling elsewhere. We're just not seeing a bunch of sales come through on their warbands for whatever reason. It's probably because of the realms I chose. Are you guys open to the idea of potentially allowing sales to come into this challenge from other auction houses outside of the warband? I'm asking that because when I created this challenge, I was like, hey, I'm just going to tie this to a warband, keep everything simple, organized, structured, right? And I'm finding that only selling on these 4 auction houses is crippling, or I should say slowing down this challenge. And I'm not opposed to counting sales from other auction houses if you guys are okay with it. So I'm gonna put this in your hands. So in the comments, if you want to share your opinion about, hey, let's keep it to the warband like you said from episode 1, or if you guys are open to allowing me to funnel in gold from other auction houses of these items though, only though. So like we would only count sales from ZF only. But if you guys are okay with that, just let me know in the comments. If you're not, totally fine. I'm not gonna take that personally because I know what I said in episode 1 and I'm totally fine sticking to it. It might take a little bit longer to finish this. But anyway, let's go ahead and pay ourselves that 5,178 gold real quick. All right, and that puts our actual total at 259,701. Let's go ahead and head on in. And before I look at comments, I just want to say I appreciate you guys sticking with me through the last few days. I've been fairly busy with my publishing house. My business partner and I had a deadline that we had to hit this weekend, and we had to get some books kind of move through their last phase of the editing process. So it was a work weekend for me. So no videos. And the reason I'm saying thank you to you guys is that I didn't see like a drop in subs over the weekend. What I've heard from some people that do what I do, where you try to make a video like every day or every other day, if you miss a few days, it really affects your metrics. And from the looks of things, a lot of you kind of stuck around, which I appreciate. So thank you again. All right, first comment says, Sally, I can't post picture into the comment, but I got my first sell in Mop Classic. I started the same challenge in posing vest for 950 gold. Let's go. I hope you get a big drop today. Couple things. So by same challenge, are you saying that you're trying to earn 1 million gold in Mop Classic doing this? I haven't looked at the economy of Mop Classic, but I feel like that might be a steeper road to travel than the one that I'm on. And how is Mop Classic, by the way? Like, is it still going strong? And secondly, yeah, that imposing vest, we know about that. We've seen that several times. I feel like 950 gold on Mop Classic's probably a lot, isn't it? But anyway, grats, and I hope you're enjoying yourself. All right, next comment says, dude, you should do a vid with your tune as a VTube avatar. That would create an uptick in views, especially if you gave Bofades a set of big honkers, lol. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. All right, next comment says, ZF is the primary stronghold of the desert-dwelling Sand Fury trolls who were displaced from their ancestral lands. In the lore, players are actually the aggressors, disrupting the tribe while they are attempting to build an undead army to reclaim their territories. Yo, is that the actual lore? I regret, as I kind of ventured through this game, questing and stuff, not really paying attention to the lore as much. Because there's a lot of really cool stuff that they pull into all the different quest lines and backgrounds of characters and whatnot, right? And I can always spot when they connect something to, like, H.P. Lovecraft. But I didn't know this, that, like, it sounds like we're the bad guys. Like, we're just coming in and just screwing up their world here. That's not cool, right? I will say, though, that the main character as the bad guy trope, where you, like, play the villain or whatever, kind of a cool take on things. But if what you're saying in the lore here is true, it kind of hurts my heart a little bit. Now, is that going to stop us from slaughtering this entire dungeon 10 times today? No. But at least it's on my mind, right? This is a video game after all. All right, let's go ahead and eat our fried bonefish. Let's get Loot Appraiser ready. Because we haven't ran this in like 4 days. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's have a good one. Oh my god, we are so fast. All right, Keeper's Cord, first green that ding today. We got an epic right off the bat, guys. Look at this. It's not fantastic. It's not the best epic, but hey, an epic is an epic. Yo, Thrallsec, you're like my favorite person. So I appreciate all the kind comments that I'll get in-game, and now, apparently, you know, items that are sent to me. But I just want to reiterate that I will not be taking gold as a gift during this challenge, because the challenge is about gold. Brutish leg guards, Bloodwoman pads. So yeah, I can't accept your gold that you send me, but I will accept any thank you notes or, you know, any little care packages that won't necessarily affect how much gold I bring in. And as long as what you send me is appropriate, it'll get a shout out in a video. I know a lot of you want to join the fight against Socrates, so if you were to send me like little RP messages in game, and they're not too long, I'll definitely end up reading them. Formidable leg guards. So going back to a conversation we had in a previous video, what is this manifested shadow? Is this me? Anyway, concerning the conversation that we had about, you know, what it takes to be successful as a YouTube creator, there was some discourse about simply just needing to be an attractive female versus being really good at the game or doing something that's different and new versus personality. And someone commented saying that they tend to prefer the content creators that have personality, like over everything else. But in that comment, they mentioned that they'll often put on YouTube videos, like WoW videos, to fall asleep to, and they typically choose personality over everything else for those videos. Jade Bracers, an Eye Gouger. And it does seem like there's a meta now that's Jade Gauntlets. A meta around like really long form YouTube videos. Now, I know YouTube's already long form content, but what I'm talking about is videos that are like an hour long or 2 hours long, 3 hours long. And they'll often have a subtitle that says to fall asleep to, Praetorian padded armor. So is that something that you guys are noticing as well? Several videos popping up that say to sleep to, that are like in your niche of videos that you like to consume? And if so, are you clicking on them? Are they like getting your attention? Because it seems like they're wildly popular and aren't going away. And from my end, it's making me be a little bit more strategic about what I put in my videos, like how loud I get. You guys probably have noticed that, like from my earlier videos versus like these videos today, there's a lot more Loot Appraiser dinging back then. Whereas in our modern era of videos, I'm typically saying something right after the ding. Decided to make that subtle change whenever I realized there's so many to sleep to videos out there. And also, just one evening, I was lying in bed and one of my videos got recommended to my other account. So I decided to just watch the video to see if it looked good on TV. And the non-stop dinging of those first few episodes stressed me out so hard. So I thought, if this is stressing me out, it's probably stressing out viewers as well. Dude, there's this little haunted thing again. Thrallsec, did you give me a piece of gear that is like cursed or something? There it is. It's this trinket. I was like, what is going on? Every 5 seconds spent in combat pulls the shadows closer to you, granting dark whispers. After reaching 5 whispers, the shadows manifest and rip a creature out of the twisting nether to assist you in combat. It's a really cool trinket. Rageclaw boots. Potent pants. Just realized we're 24 minutes in at 161k looted item value. That is pretty low. Tyrant's leg plates, 49k. So going back to one of my earlier screenshots, you saw that I sold it for 7. That's because I posted it under the operation that was connected to that Father's Day weekend flash sale. Since that sale, I've gone up 20% in my posting percentage. So it's a bit closer to that market price now, all the other Tyrant's leg plates that I have up. But not close like I'm trying to sell them for like 42k or something. Probably more like 10 to 15. Jadefire gloves, opulent belt. Ooh, Peerless gloves and Vanguard pauldrons. Feel like that was a good pull. Cons leg guards. A few videos ago, we talked about selling grays, potentially like keeping some grays to sell on the auction house. And I've got comments from several of you across both channels about grays not necessarily being worth it. Like some of you tried to sell them for a few weeks or a few months and just never sold any. Or didn't sell enough to like justify posting them. And I think that's where I'm at with, at least with ZF here in Scarlet Monastery. You guys have probably noticed by now that no grays are dinging. That's because I just turned it off and I'm just vendoring all of it. Just want to remind everyone that I have created a little community here on within WoW that you can join called Bofades and Company. It's not very big yet because, you know, I'm not a big channel yet, but the people that are joining seem to be really nice, really kind, and people are starting to share their drops. So if you want to join, it's called Bofades and Company, and Socrates has one as well, and it's called Socrates and Company. Griffin mail belt. Another pair of jade bracers. I need more legs. I mentioned in a previous video that I had written some books on Stoicism and Absurdism, and someone asked me what my thoughts were on Taoism, and I have to say that I'm a big fan of both Taoism and Stoicism. Stoicism, obviously. A lot of the ideas and principles overlap. Praetorian coif. Like in Stoicism, you have Amor Fati, love your fate, you know? And in Taoism, you have Wu Wei, I think is how you pronounce it. Both suggest that you kind of have this like harmony with life, right? Kind of like two different it is what it is approaches to life. Stoicism approaches it with like a reasoned, like a logical approach, whereas the Taoist approach seems like it wants to align with the universe. Like this thing happened because it's in alignment with how things were supposed to happen kind of thing. There's obviously more to it than that, and I don't want to go on and make it worse, so if you know a lot about it, please feel free to jump in the comments and kind of guide us. But anyway, that's where like my views and I guess Taoist views diverge. Another Ring of Saviors. Oh, the epics keep coming though, right? Hey guys, we got plans for the light Earth Force Blade. But anyway, my views diverge in that I think the universe is like cold and uncaring and doesn't waste a millisecond of its time thinking about you and me. It like doesn't care why we're here or what we do with our time here. And it isn't hiding some like deep meaning or purpose for our lives that it will eventually like reveal to us. Inventory's full again. Jeez. Which is fine to me because I don't need to spend any of my time like waiting around to be told what I'm supposed to do with my time here. I can just create it on my own, you know, for myself. Which I know is not for everyone. I know absurdism is not necessarily a philosophy that's like, you know, super popular. It's not like a philosophy that a lot of people are waiting in line to learn more about and adopt. Why am I even talking about this? Oh yeah, someone left a comment about it. But anyway, I bring that up not to like try to convert anyone or try to encourage anyone else to live that way. There have been just a lot of really fun comments that came in over the weekend, and that was one that I remember. And as far as what Bofades follows here, right? Something to do with Loa. Maybe someone can like give us some troll religious lore in the comments. That'd be cool. Protector ankle guards. All right, guys, that does it for these 10 runs. Let's take a look at what is in our bags. All right, lots of things to vendor here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time cleaning this up, but I will highlight a few things. We did get 3 lock boxes. We are building up towards our next unboxing. Don't have a lot yet, but once we get into the 40s or 50s, I'll pull them out and we'll open them up in a video. Got 54 thick leather there, 19 rugged leather. I don't know if you guys really care about any of this kind of stuff. We're about to get a lot of disenchant mats too, but I'm not going to put it in this video. We did get 2 epics. We got a Ring of Saviors. This is our second or third one of those, maybe our third. And we did get a precisely calibrated boomstick. This is our first one of these. Looks like this. Is this our first one? I think it's our first one, right? There are 88 across US realm, 750 gold on the low end, 26k for a median. Sinjin at the top again. So you get a few thousand out of this most likely. I'm not going to look up the Ring of Saviors. I don't think we need to. And I don't think I need to look up anything else. We didn't see anything that kind of like popped out today. We got a few Tyrant pieces, some Jade Bracers, things like that. We did, however, get plans for the Light Earth Force Blade though. Our looted item value for this run is 581,000, which is on the lower end. So not fantastic. Probably going to vendor 95% of what you see here in the bags and disenchant the boss drops. So we're at a point in this challenge where we are kind of, I don't want to say stuck. We do need to admit though that it is, hey, hi Zaria. I don't know if that's how I pronounce your name. I am aware that we are not selling items as fast as we would like. And I'm personally okay with it. I'm not trying to milk this or whatever. Like I'm literally just, I set out on this challenge knowing it would take a long time. I didn't know how long it was going to take, but it does seem like it's going to take quite a bit. So I want to ask the question again that I asked earlier. Are you guys okay with me potentially opening up this challenge to other auction houses where I can sell these items across all the other 12 that I have? Or do you guys want to keep it tight and it's only through the warband auction houses? I don't mind either way, but I'm just kind of wanting your opinions. I legitimately do care about what you guys have to say about this challenge, and a lot of things that you guys have said have made this better, more enjoyable, I think, for a lot of people. Like in the early stages, I wasn't showing you guys the weapons at all. That took several comments for people to like encourage me to start showing them. So your feedback, as long as it's constructive and just not hateful, is something that I enjoy reading and I don't mind reading. So yeah, if it's okay with you to open this up to other auction houses, I'm willing to do that. But I want to see that it's okay with the majority. Okay? So let me know in the comments. All right, before I vendor everything, repost some stuff. We did have a bunch of stuff like expire. Our ending gold for this episode is 262,048. As always, we'll talk about what it is before I start my next 10 runs. And speaking of my next 10 runs and the 10 runs after that, this week is about to get pretty busy for us in IRL. My wife's grandmother is turning 90 on Friday, and they live a few states away from us. So we're going to be leaving Thursday, like a 9-hour drive, and we're going to be there through July 4th weekend. So I'll be MIA again for another weekend. I know, slacker, right? So Thursday through Sunday, there won't be any videos, unfortunately. But I'll make sure I give you one today, tomorrow, and Wednesday on both channels, okay? So if you haven't subscribed to Socrates yet, he's almost at 1,200, I think. Yeah, as of right now, he's at 1184, so close to 1,200 subs. And poor Bofades here, as of right now in this moment, is at 980. So if you want to show some support to Bofades here, support to the channel, and you haven't subscribed yet, I would encourage you to do so, okay? So anyway, that does it for today's video. As always, if you enjoyed this sort of content, I would encourage you to like, comment, subscribe. So close to 1,000, guys. So close. And tune in tomorrow. Hopefully we can get a better epic than the ones we got today. And until next time, take care. See you soon.